Hello, Facebook friends. Today I wanted to do a video on 4 ways to get unstuck and get launching. And what kind of prompted this was last week I had a conversation with 2 ladies, and I think it's a very common scenario when you feel stuck. And so what I mean by stuck is that we're stuck in this pattern of overthinking ourselves, basically into overwhelm. And so we think, oh, we got this great idea or we got this great product and it needs to be launched, but we keep talking ourselves out of things. And that we're in the first quarter 2022, oh, I'm gonna get this thing launched in February. All of a sudden we're back to September. And so I want to share my 4 tips, 4 things that you could get stuck on, and then how to overcome those things and just get that thing out the door and launched. And so with the internet and online space is a curse and a blessing. There are so many different ways to launch, and there's no right or wrong way. And you can watch Amy Porterfield and, oh, I need to have a 30-day launch and 3 webinars. And then there's the Jeff Walker video series. Do I need a webinar? Challenges are all the rage. Summits are all the rage. And so you're getting all this information. And so you're thinking, do I do a webinar? Do I do a challenge? Do I need all this? What is the thing? And so you start thinking yourself out of doing something, because then you're like, oh, if I do a summit or if I do a webinar, let's do a webinar. Then I need to create slides, and then how do I hook things up? And I don't know if I have the tech, and you procrastinate and you get stuck in this cycle. And so there's lots to think about. First, the first place you can get stuck, and it's a question I get asked a lot with newer entrepreneurs or people that don't have big lists. They're like, oh my God, I don't have a big list, so I need to create a new lead magnet and get people on my list. This is something we should be doing all the time, not just, oh, I'm going to launch and I need people to launch to. This should be a 365 days a year. We should be trying to grow our network, whether it is an email list or networking with people just via Facebook or Instagram, whatever it is. We should be doing that all the time. And I'm guilty of it too. You ebb and flow, and sometimes you're really good at advertising your freebie and getting people on your list, and other times you just fall off the bandwagon. But I want you to not think about, oh my God, I don't have this gigantic list. You need to get over that. Everyone starts somewhere. People have made good money with less than 100 people. It just depends how engaged your list is. Are you emailing them every week? There may be people on your list that you're networking with that are prime candidates to buy whatever it is that you are selling. So the first thing where people get stuck is that, oh my God, I need a large email list. Number 2, oh my God, what do I do? This is another one. Should I have a seminar? Should I have a webinar? Should I have a challenge? Should I do a video series? Let me tell you, all those things, especially if you're first getting started, you don't need any of them. You can do a good old-fashioned social media and email your list launch. That is a launch. It's actually one of the things that I recommend, but we'll get to that in just a minute. Number 3, the other area you can get stuck is with the tech. Do I need this fancy tool? Or do I use Zoom? Do I use Google Meet, Crowdcast, Webinar Jam? All the things. Then I got to create a webinar slide deck, and then I need Canva or PicMonkey. And you can just go down the shiny object. Oh, I wasted 2 hours looking for the perfect slide deck. Tech is another problem. You can always hire someone to hook up things and do the tech for you. Number 4, the other place women get stuck, and especially us, is the mindset piece. Oh, I'm not an expert. I'm not visible enough. Do people even know who I am, or think I'm no expert? And that whole imposter syndrome creeps. You may not even be getting visible, so then you're like, oh my God, I got to stick myself out there. You're going to have to do it. Whether you are, looking for clients and referrals, you are getting visible. You may not be getting visible on social media per se, but you are getting visible and you're getting in front of people with referrals because you're talking to other people. So it's just a different way around it. If you don't network, if you don't get visible, you really don't have a business, in my opinion. So how can you get over these things? Here are some easy tips, I think, to help you get started. The first one is in relation to, I have a small email list and I need to create a new lead magnet and I need to get 500 people, 1,000 people on my list like ASAP. And do I need to run Facebook ads or how am I going to do that? First things first, do you really need a new lead magnet? Chances are probably not. You probably have something that, if you don't already have an official lead magnet that you're advertising, you probably have something on your hard drive that you could whip up pretty quickly and just send it off to people. And also networking. You can reach out to people. I don't know about you, but I know I get friend requests like at least 5 to 10 a day. And I'm not even networking with people. They are sending me requests. You can kind of turn the tables and start, having the conversation with them, get their email and add them to your list. Easy as that. Nothing fancy, no landing page, nothing. The other thing is with the lead magnet that you do have, is that everywhere that it should be? Is it on the front page, above the fold of your website? Is it on the sidebar? Do you have a hello bar at the top? It could be in your Gmail signature. Get stuck in, I don't want to advertise in too many places, or we just feel icky. Is that too much? It's never too much. Just stick it out there. The only thing people are going to do is just scroll right by. There's that whole thing, we need to have 7 to 12 touches or something like that. Put it in all the places. Especially, I love the Gmail signature because that is a passive way of getting your lead magnet in front of people. And as you converse, it just automatically shows up and you don't even have to think about it. Just throw your email list on autopilot. You should also be putting clients or potential clients that I have people that have set up calls with me and we may have touched base and known each other, or maybe did a discovery call last year and didn't end up working together. I put them on my email list. And the worst thing is they don't want to hear from you. They unsubscribe. Not a big deal. But you did talk to them once. They know who you are. Put them on your email list. The second tip is start easy. You do not have to have this big official launch. I'm having a webinar. I'm having a challenge. Do the good old-fashioned social media and email launch. Why do I say this? Because when you launch, especially if you are just starting, this is your first launch, not if you're just starting, but if this is your first launch, with any new launch, you're going to have to go through this content creation phase. You are going to have to create all the social media, all the emails, and you can use templates. I highly recommend templates. Repurpose what you have. But the point is you have to bring all that stuff together. You have to create all that. You have to get it scheduled out in your email, whatever email provider you're using. There is a lot of content creation that goes along with launching. If you start easily with social media and emails, you'll have the bulk of it done. So then next time when you go to launch, you'll just have to create, I'm going to do a webinar. Then you just have a webinar registration page and then a few emails like thank yous and reminders. The bulk of that is done. You could have also tested it. So social media posts that you have put out, you can see resonated, what didn't, what emails got the largest email open rates, and repurpose. You've done it once, repurpose the heck out of it. And then number 3, regarding the tech. Use you probably I don't know any tech, but you don't give yourself enough credit. You probably know how to schedule emails. You probably know how to schedule social media posts. You probably know how to use Zoom. So have a webinar. Maybe not, you don't even need a webinar. You could do a workshop style launch where instead of doing the webinar where all of a sudden, I need a slide deck, you could just create a workshop where you could work off an outline and do it on Zoom. So we all know how to use Zoom. You could do a video series launch a la Jeff Walker. He has a book that you can get on Amazon called Launch. He perfected the email series launch. You can use Zoom, you can use Loom, you can use Screencast-O-Matic, whatever. You can use your phone. Create the videos and then stick it into an email and create that launch series, video series, using videos and email. Easy peasy. You can do Facebook Lives in addition to the social media. Just this, easy, press a button and go. Number 4 is work on your mindset. So the reality is, especially being on Facebook, and then if you're recording on your Facebook business page, we know that doesn't get a humongous reach. You need to drive traffic there, whether that's ads, whether it's networking, whether it's sending an email to your email list saying, hey, go check this out, this video I did. What I'm doing, chances are hardly anyone is going to see it live. Most people see things on the replay. So practice, just go live, get it done. You could do a flash sale. You can, just do the same thing, email series, but just do it for 3 days. The thing about mindset and a launch is that there's a lot of mindset stuff with launching. You could easily talk yourself out of continuing through a launch, because what happens typically when a cart opens and you'll either get 2 things. Either people are going to buy and be like, oh my God, great, people love me, they're buying my thing. Or you don't get any sales like out of the gate, and then you're like, oh my God, my product sucks and I suck and no one's ever gonna buy from me. And so either way, you have that mindset piece of the beginning. Then in the middle, where people typically, they either buy straight out of the gate or at the end. And so it's like that messy middle where you may not get any sales. So again, that doubt creeps in. Oh, I suck, no one's buying my thing, they're not interested. And you may not show up with as much energy. You may not even want to show up and do lives because you're like, oh, no one's going to see it, no one's going to buy it anyway. And so you get down on yourself and then you don't finish strong. So I do recommend either do a 3-day flash sale where it's quick, down and dirty, here's your opportunity to buy, or stick to 5 days max. Do not do one of those 7 to 2 week launch periods. That is a long time to keep your energy up. The other thing is, on the cart close date, send 2 emails. Just schedule them out in the beginning, when you've written them, just schedule them to automatically go out so there's no thinking about it. People do forget. They always buy at the end. No, you're not bothering anyone. All the people, I'm sure you've received them, you've been on the receiving end. All you do is just hit delete. You're not bothering anyone, but in the meantime, you may be doing someone a favor. Got COVID, got a kid sick, dog went to the vet, whatever it is, and they just ran out of time. You're doing them a service. So it is mindset. You are serving someone because you could potentially change someone else's life by whatever product it is that you have. The other thing is realistic expectations, and that goes along with mindset as well, is that, we tend to see the positive on social media, and it's, I launched and I made $50,000, $100,000, I had $1 million. Entrepreneurs probably have not launched and made $100,000 out of the gate, unless maybe it was a high ticket item, $10,000, and they sold 10 and that was it. But generally, the average entrepreneur will just not have these huge number sale launches. And you need to set realistic expectations. How I use it, how to set an expectation of how many sales you're going to have is take 1.5%, and 2% of your email, 1% being good, 1.5% better, 2% of your email list. Just gives you an average of the good, better, best goals you can expect, and then multiply that by the dollar amount, and that is probably what you can expect in sales. The other thing is, even if you don't hit those sales numbers that you wanted, the good, better, best, you need to celebrate what you've done. You have knocked a few things out of the park. You've got all the social content written, the emails written. You actually did it. You launched and you got something out the door. Not everyone does that. A lot of people just sit there and think about it and don't actually do it. And so one of the things we get stuck in is this whole like throwing spaghetti at the wall, where you like have an idea and then you share it, you launch it, no one buys it, and you think, oh, it sucks, and then you just put that idea up on the shelf. And launching is almost like anything else. It needs to be tested and retested. Like Facebook ads, you create multiple creative because you don't know what's going to resonate. So chances are you really have a good idea. You may not be explaining it well enough. There could be multiple reasons why people didn't buy. And so that is another thing that I like to do is after a launch, if you can track who's clicked on that link, who's looked at your sales page, and send them an email going, why didn't you buy? Not just like that, like a, hey, just following up, I saw you clicked on my sales page and I'm wondering, were there any questions you had? Why didn't you buy this time? And use that data to help you do better next time. Is it you didn't have, the product was too high and you didn't have a pay plan and people honestly couldn't afford it? Maybe it wasn't the right time. Maybe people still had questions and your sales page wasn't thorough enough, didn't answer all the questions that people had. You can look at your social media engagement, at your open rates. This is all data. And so celebrate yourself. You did it. Go back, look at all this stuff after, I call it the launch debrief, and retool your launch to do better next time. Because the thing is, you have to launch and tweak, and you can launch roughly about every 8 weeks. You don't want to, if you have a smaller list, you might want to stretch that out because you don't want to tire your small audience. Depends on your list growth. But those are my 4 things that I don't want you to get stuck on, and I hope that I've provided you easy ways and just get that overthinking out of your head and use what you have, make it easy on yourself, and keep going forward. And if you need help with a plan, I do offer VIP launch intensives where we can map this all out for you. So if you want someone with more experience to just help you map this out, simple is often better and more successful, and it will set you up in the long run because you're not going to be overwhelmed. You're not going to need like a vacation from life after you've put in all this energy into launching, no matter how it goes. Whether you've had all the highs and you had a really great launch or maybe not as great as you had hoped. Either way, I don't want you to be overwhelmed and exhausted, and worse yet, I don't want you to be stuck. So I will put the link down below and you can reach out. If you have any questions, please link them below. If I missed something and what are you overthinking? What are you stuck on? Please drop that below or send me a DM. I would love to work through that with you. All right, take care. Bye.